Hi folks, it's late, should be going to bed soon. I just thought I'd do a quick video actually on a subject that's interesting. The other day I responded to a YouTube of a professor talking about the Ark. Noah's Ark. But basically saying there was one in Babylon, or the Babylonian people had their version, and their version was earlier than Noah's because their version was written down earlier. And I replied to that saying, excuse me, come on, Noah was in that area. The ark was built in the area. So just because the other version was written before that, of course, in that area, they would know the story. Doesn't mean it's a different story or the Jewish people, stole the story. And the person was saying, oh no, the other people were saying, the name of the place where the boat landed on is a different name. Of course it's a different bloody name, idiot. They were using different languages and their understanding about the place was different. And the names that they called the area was different because the language was different. Come on. Quite easy, really. It's the same story. Yeah, okay. Anyway, then I was looking at a video on YouTube about, what's it called? One second. That's the word, the pyramids. Okay. Watching a video about the pyramids, and the lady was saying how they built it, and they were trying to find out how they built it, because obviously the blocks are really, really big and heavy, so that sort of thing. And I thought, okay, we know basically before that, and at that time when those places were built, there was a flood. The Bible flood was in the area at that time. Okay. But before the flood, there was fallen agents, brain angels, that word, yeah, who were basically mating with humans, female humans. And basically, the babies were basically giants, or some of them were giants. Okay. And we know that basically what they were saying at that time, that the angels were telling humans wonder things, spiritual things, heavily things. How to do this and that and this and that and this and that, how to understand the stars and using the stars to do this and that and this and that, and how to make this and that sort of stuff. Okay. So that was the same time that the area, or basically the brain doesn't work, those things were built during that time. So obviously, if there were giants, because obviously we know basically, what's his name again? Oh, come on, brain. The giant that David killed, he was a bit of a giant, but not the biggest giant. So the bigger ones, in that TV program, the giants were saying, oh, the Jewish people were killing all the giants, the biggest ones, and they are the last ones. Okay. Is that true? I don't know. Doesn't matter, really. It could have been true. I don't know. But again, the point of it is that, yeah, we know basically that if the giants were really big, amazing, massive, could they actually make those? What's that bloody word? There you go. PYRAMID. Yeah, those. Sorry, brain doesn't work. When it's late or even earlier, when my brain doesn't work, it's annoying, but there you go. It is what it is. Yeah, with them. So therefore, yeah, is it possible that they were made because the fallen angels were, helping them to do that? Because again, it's so, they're saying basically those things are so perfect. How could they make it so perfect? Well, again, if it was angels who knew how to do things perfect because they were from God and from heaven, and they were telling people heavenly wonderful things, then of course. So again, the book of again, brain. Yeah. From that bloke, Enoch. Yeah. Is that book of Enoch, should it be in the Bible? I don't know. Because again, actually, as I said before, most of the stuff in the New Testament, most of it, after the Gospels, most of that shouldn't be in there. So therefore, there's a lot of stuff in there that shouldn't be in there. So therefore, yeah, if the book of Enoch was in there, would that be worse than most of the Paul stuff and Peter stuff, what they were saying? No, it'd be basically the same. Because again, I'm not judging Enoch, I'm not judging Peter, I'm not judging Paul, because again, Enoch, I didn't know him, never met him, and there's not a lot of stuff about him in the Bible. Well, I've not seen it, so therefore, was he a lovely person? I don't know. Was he someone who was loving God and doing God's way? Basically, a lot of people think he was. So, okay. So again, Peter and Paul, they were writing letters to churches and to people about questions that the people were asking. So, should we, there's a lot of stuff that was saying that's not true, really, for us. Or it wasn't even true then, not really. But at that time, did they have the tools to deal with it? No, they didn't. Because again, was Peter and Paul sinners at that time? If they were, then they were never, at that time, they were never of God at that time. Because if you're of God, you can't be a sinner. You are forgiven and covered.